Hey everyone. So yesterday I started a conversation that has led to quite a bit behind the scenes conversations. And I wanted to share just a little bit about that with you because if you're here, you are a parent or teacher, an admin, a therapist, you are somebody who sits at the IEP table. And we all know that special education has fallen apart. I know, education in general is right now a hot mess, but IEP world is even more so. So there's a lot of decisions and things that are going to be happening when it comes to ESY. A lot of it is going to have to depend on if a state is open or closed and letting people in their buildings and what does this look like and just lots of things, right? Well, if we really step back to the basics of what ESY is supposed to do, and the ESY means extended school year, so it's not always just summer school. However, most of us, tell me if I'm wrong, go ahead, tell me if you've heard something different, but most of us kind of have been introduced to ESY as summer school that is a cookie cutter program that is offered for possibly 4 to 6 weeks during the summer, maybe 4 days a week, and it's for 4 hours a day, and that's it. That's what ESY is, and you take it or leave it, and now there's going to be some type of distance or virtual option for many people. However, if you guys have been here for a while, I've been doing this for a long time, working on IEPs. For 20 years, I've been building IEPs. And that means we've had to get creative in a lot of solutions. And a lot of times that creativity has to do with, instead of going to ESY, the school district agrees to pay for a certain amount of speech hours or a certain amount of OT hours or a certain amount of tutor hours, a certain amount of stuff for ESY. Don't get me wrong. I am not saying it is a huge amount of hours. I'm not going to tell you to go look for 30 hours of a tutor and 30 hours of speech and 30 hours. That is not what I'm saying. Okay. I'm sharing with you that it absolutely in the past has been possible for school districts to pay for an individualized program for ESY over the summer. And I don't see why this would not be an option right now as some things start to open back up. So if your child can't get into school for speech over the summer, but the speech therapist that they see privately or could see privately or had seen privately in the past is available for a few hours a week, why not look to that as an option? And this is not a conversation that you have verbally. This is something that we start the conversation in writing. This is not a conversation where we are demanding and you must, and this is what you have to do for compensatory education due to COVID. No. There are some people that will tell you to go that route. I'm telling you right now, you want to take the fastest path to getting to a solution. And that means that you have a different tone. That means that you write things differently. That means you're looking for reasonable expectations over the summer. I understand everything that has happened has most likely been unreasonable. I get that. I understand that. However, that doesn't mean that we go in all full force looking for a creative solution, because something like 3 hours of speech paid for per week for 6 weeks is better than 0, right? So I'm not saying that this makes up for everything that's happened. What I'm saying is that in the past, and some of you guys may not even realize that solutions like this existed in the past, that there's been customizing. So let me give you an example of, let's see, second grader with Down syndrome. This one was, I think, might have been in the state of Indiana. I'm pretty sure. And I work nationwide, nationwide. So I am based in the Midwest, but I work everywhere. And so she was in full inclusion. So it didn't make sense for her to do the ESY that was offered during the school year. She didn't know the kids. The teachers didn't know her. What she really needed is just to maintain her reading skills that she had achieved over the summer, so then she could go into the next school year back into her inclusion program and have not lost any of that. So her summer program was actually the school paying for a reading tutor who happened to be a teacher who was on staff, who was available to do that, to come in for a couple hours a week and give her tutoring. And I can't remember if the tutor came to her or she went to the tutor. But either way, that was the full ESY program. She never went to the cookie cutter program that was offered through the district. She had her reading tutor, and that was it. The parents didn't want speech or OT or math or other things. The big concern was reading. So that was the compromise. That's the big key. When you come up with really cool, creative things that can help your child stabilize or get back to baseline or have some services, there's compromising. That happens in that. That's okay. Absolutely okay. Doesn't mean you're giving something up. It means that you're compromising so you can get something and then move forward, and then you can work towards other solutions as you can continue to go. So the way that you actually do this, you have to put in what's called PWN, which is prior written notice, or a parent advocacy letter is what I like to call them, inside of our IEP Masterclass, is where I teach all of this. I'm actually in the process of writing 3 different templates right now for what to do about ESY and how you can respond, because there's a lot of different things that are happening, right, in ESY. So I have some parents who want to accept the ESY services that are being offered virtually, but they want to documented that it's not enough. It's not going to have a huge educational benefit, but you're accepting it because. Absolutely. You get that documented. So I see Stephanie's here, Cynthia's here, Reem is here, Kai is here. Hello, guys. Hello. So I have that template. And then there's another template that's going to talk about these creative solutions and how to approach that conversation and give you the words to make sure that you're not starting the fight. Okay, that's unnecessary, that you're finding good compromises, that you're opening up the conversation, and it's creating a paper trail. So even if the school says no, let's just say that you try this and the school says no, you now have a paper trail that you've tried to compromise on a solution that would work over the summer. And then I also will have a third template because some schools have decided not to offer ESY, and they're checking a box on the IEP. And this goes very state to state, okay? But on certain states, there's a box that they're checking that says child will not receive ESY this year. But we need to make sure that it's clearly documented that the child does qualify for ESY, but due to the virus, they're not receiving it. So there's really 3 different ways. I should say there's a fourth. When that you don't want to take ESY at all. And it's not because you don't think that your child needs it. It's because you're tired of distance learning or you're just tired. Like you're just done. We had this conversation yesterday. People say they're just done. They're just done. Okay. I can say with confidence that I'm very aware of several districts in the Midwest that are looking to do creative solutions because they know that they cannot have a traditional ESY program. This is not just something that, hey, let's just see if this works. It has worked in the past. I know districts that are in talks of it now, and it's something that you truly need to consider. If you've never heard something like that before, I'm actually going to encourage you. Let me find my little, let's see, right here, IEPmasterclass.com. So I would encourage you to go to IEPmasterclass.com, come on in there, into the masterclass, which includes the special education inner circle, which is going to include all these templates that I'm talking about. So you can make sure that you get the documentation, the paper trail. You can pursue creative solutions if you want to, all in a collaborative way. The IEP Masterclass is for parents, teachers, admins, therapists. It's for everybody who sits at the IEP table. I've done this long enough that I don't believe in training people separately when we're all expected to sit at the table together. So there's no way that you can come to the table collaboratively if you are learning one strategy for how to fight for an IEP over here, and then you're learning another strategy as an educator, as a team to, this is how you write a good goal, and this is how you run your classroom, and this is what, should or should not be in an IEP. If we have this conversation together and you get the same tools, then you can work better together. And the biggest benefit is that there's less conflict and more results. The child benefits from this hugely. So I want to encourage you, again, if ESY has been on your mind, I know some of you guys, like you said, you're just done. You're like, nope, I don't want to do it. Let's get documented why you're saying no. If you are saying yes and you're accepting it, it's okay to document that you're accepting it, but you're not happy with it. That's all right too. And if you want to look at creative solutions and having some alternative things done in the summer, then absolutely. Let's see, Anja even says many families are choosing 4. They're just done. They're just burnt out. Absolutely. But do they know about the option of asking for some speech therapy or OT or something to be reimbursed by a private provider? Because that absolutely could be something that they ask for. Again, I can't guarantee what a district's going to say, but I can tell you that paper trails are good. Asking is always good. And what's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to get a no, and you're going to have a paper trail. I want to make this really clear too, for the staff members that are listening to this, all of this documentation that I'm talking about, all these things that I'm encouraging parents to do right now, it's for your benefit too. Because having a conversation about what is possible, what is not possible, and documenting that is going to save the conflict of the he said, she said that's going to happen this fall with so many families. You said we'd get this and we didn't. You promised this and we didn't. You said that you tried this and you didn't. There's going to be so much back and forth bickering that's going to happen. And I want you to stay out of that. Anybody who's watching right now, right? I don't care what your role is at the IEP table. I want you to stay out of that bickering. And to do that, you have to document conversations, because then it's just fact. It's just a fact. It happened or it didn't happen. I asked or I didn't ask. I accepted ESY. I didn't accept ESY. I want the documentation there for you, because I don't want you caught up in the drama when we get back into fall. So if you guys have any questions about this, do not hesitate to post them below. And I hope all you guys are doing well. I mean, I stopped counting how long this has been going on. I'm trying to keep track of what day it is and what's happening. But here's one thing I do know for sure is that the school year is going to be wrapping up really fast. ESY, whether you're taking it or you're not taking it, is going to go by really, really fast. And the fall, whatever decisions are being made, is going to be complicated. So you have to get this in writing. Lynette says, well, our special education has no conversation with us. They don't care. And that's why, you know what, if it has to be a one-sided conversation where you're writing letters, then it's a one-sided conversation. That is happening in some districts. I absolutely understand that it is not always a two-way conversation. Sometimes it's more frustrating to hear nothing than to hear stuff that you don't want to hear, right? So that have that one-way conversation and write these letters. Lynette, I am 99% sure that you are in the Master IEP Coach Mentorship or the Masterclass or both in there, which means that you'll get these letter templates so you can help put what needs to go into words so you don't have to have that he said, she said when the fall comes there. So, all right. Again, I hope you guys are doing well. Hang in there. If you have questions about this, don't hesitate to post them below, and I'll see you guys real soon.